Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lizzie, this Mrs Fisher Stitches. That's my Instagram handle, this Mrs Fisher, all one word, _stitches. This is going to be a video about cross stitch, about my progress and my new starts, which have been a couple, or one, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm videoing this on my laptop today rather than using my phone because I'm hoping it takes less time to process. We're here in my sewing room stroke study. It's a bit of a mess, so I've carefully chosen which bit of the mess you get to see, and I hope you like what I'm going to show you. My video camera is in a different place, so I've got to remember to look at the camera and not what I look like, which is quite tricky, so forgive me if I'm looking down all the time. I haven't got any notes today, so this will be a bit of a ramshackle, bibbly bobbly mishmash of things as my brain remembers or forgets and remembers and forgets. I hope you've all had a great 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks. I did make a video last week, but I was quite poorly. I had a cold and it just took me off my feet for a couple of days, and I didn't want really to upload it once I saw how poorly I looked. Today I am fresh faced and fresh out of the shower, excuse the wet hair. I've been for a run this morning, which was great. It's quite hot here in England. It's 30 degrees Celsius, not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. And all the way home, all I could think of was this.
Oh, it's not empty.
That's fine. So sometimes you have to do mad things, and I got so hot on my run that A, I couldn't run, I had to walk, and B, all I could think of was somebody throwing a bucket of water over me. Now ideally that bucket of water would have come as a whoosh rather than a long dribble, and I felt like I couldn't breathe at the point where I had to sit up, but it was very refreshing, and then I had a cold shower and I feel okay at the moment. Last night though I was just hot beyond belief. Tip for hot weather: I put a wet tea towel in the freezer, and then I can, once it's frozen, it's quite solid, so I can sort of mould it around my head and my neck. There's a little hood type effect, and that really does cool you down. I tend to do that in the evening or before bed, in bed maybe sometimes, just because you have to do what you have to do when you get too hot, don't you? Anyway, on to stitching news. I can't remember where I was with this. I will insert a picture here. So this is Caterpillar Cross Stitch Bloom and Grow Stitch Along. I'm doing it on a 18 count Ada that's white. It's Zweigart, I think. I'm not sure what shade of white, but it is definitely a Zweigart fabric. Sorry about the crinkle, I'm just putting a piece of paper behind it so you can see it better. And this is where I've got to. Let's see if I can get the best colours. I'm not going to be able to see what I can see. So last video I think I'd done the alliums maybe last video, had I? Well, I've got the alliums done and then moved over, and I'm now on these ranunculus, are they? I've made a change to one of the colours. What should have been the lighter pink in here, I'm using DMC 3771, just because that's what I had. No, I have no preference, but this is what I had. I didn't have the other pink and I didn't really want to go and get it. Trying to keep costs down as best I can. So yeah, that's that, and I'm still behind, but I'm still loving it. Have you seen the what's the word, sneak peeks of the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Along for winter? It's going to be called Hello Dear. I believe it's a tree. In fact, I know it's a tree that matches Hello Autumn. It's not called Hello Autumn. It's called Hello Pumpkin. and it's going to match that. I haven't stitched that yet. I have it as a kit, but I haven't stitched it, and I am so going to be putting a little bit of money away on payday. So, well, actually I might just order it on payday, because payday is released on, or the pre-order is released on August the 19th, and I get paid on the 22nd, so I might just say that's my one treat, because I am going to have just one treat this month, next month, because I've bought a lot this month, and my car broke and I needed to pay for that as well. So yes, so that's where I am with that one. And I'd started the train when I made a last video. Some people video daily, some people video weekly. I video sporadically, and I can never remember what I've shown you, so maybe I ought to do a bit more regularly. So this train, excuse my scribbling on here, is a train that I'm stitching for my dad. It's not an Intercity 125, it's a class 320, I believe my father-in-law told me. So now I stand corrected. I've written it down somewhere what it is. Let's have a look if I can find that piece of paper. No, that's just, I write on my patterns that I'm using the titles of the patterns I want to stitch that I see on YouTube, Flosstube, while I'm stitching. It's a class, oh, I mustn't show you the chart. I've written it down, it says class 320. So anyhow, not that that means anything to any of us, but it will to my dad. Oh yes. So I'll insert a picture here of where I was, assuming I've got one. And this is where I'm at now. This has been really good fun to stitch. Because it's on 14 count Ada, it's lush. It's just so quick and easy. I'm, as you can see, quick flash, highlighting the pattern as I go with a highlighter pen, good old style, none of this tablet nonsense. More about that later though. I'm just highlighting it as I go. This corner here, oh, dream to stitch when you're watching TV. I tried to do it in the car. Sorry, my back's hurting. I tried to do it in the car, but it was just too hard, way too hard. Bibbledy bobbledy up and down. My husband drives a pickup, and I thought it'd be easier than driving in the car. Obviously not driving. I couldn't drive and stitch. That'd be dangerous. I couldn't stitch while he was driving because it was too bouncy. So there's where I'm at on that. My threads are all in a bit of a tangle. These things happen, don't they? So I've been working on that at weekends. It's been my Saturday, Sunday stitch until last weekend before last. Then I had an idea. I'll come on to that in a minute. That one lives in my Harry Potter train bag because it's a train picture. It just makes sense. It's actually a pillowcase. Little cushion cover that I have stolen from my daughters. Well, it's not really stealing if I never gave it to them in the first place, is it? Should we move on to Spangled by Long Dog Samplers. Here's where I was at last time. And here it is now. As you can see, I've swapped out the black DMC 310 and I've swapped it for DMC 161, a blue, sort of like evening sky colour. I don't like a lot of black in my furnishings, she says, wearing a black dress, but there we are. Hi, as you can see, my hair is now dry and the colour of the room has changed because I've had to put the blind down because the sun's come to the front of the house. It's now 2:40 in the afternoon. My daughter and I have been out and done a few bits and bobs, come to edit the video and realised that you can't hear me speaking through this bit. I sound like an alien, or like somebody's dropped my microphone in a big glass of water. So I thought I'd just re-record. So here's your Spangled. I love it. So that's that. Now I have a 17-year-old nearly. My daughter is 17 in a couple of weeks. How can that little baby go from being such a tiny cute baby to a 17? I mean, she's very cute and gorgeous now, but she is very nearly 17. And what do you give her? What do you give a 17-year-old these days in the time of COVID. She can't give her money to go out with her mates. So I have gone for a theme for her birthday present. Her favourite book is A Handmaid's Tale, and they're studying it at school. So her copy is rather bashed about and scribbled in, not scribbled, but annotated, that's a good word, annotated and very loved and used. So she's going to get a nice hardback copy of A Handmaid's Tale, so I'm just trying to zip up my project bag. A nice copy of Handmaid's Tale hardback, and I've also thought of doing a cross stitch to go along with it. So I had a look on Etsy to see what I could find, and here is what I've found. And here it is so far. I absolutely adore her. I'm going to be hard pushed to give her away. The plan is to pop her in a hoop, and I'm going to bind the hoop with some nice red fabric and back it, and put a little stitchy message on the back as well, just in running stitch. And I think that would be a really lovely gift, and I hope she appreciates how much time's gone into it. I've really enjoyed stitching it because I have Pattern Keeper. It's so exciting. It's such a wonderful app. If you haven't seen it, you must really go and look at it. It's only on Android devices, I believe. So if you've got Apple, I'm afraid it won't work. But it's amazing. It's just revolutionised my stitching. It really has. Now, the idea for it was given to me, or I got the idea, I found out, I was made aware. So I'm just looking for the piece of paper where I've written important things down. Put it away. Yes, so where was I? Angela, Stitching Brit, talks about, I've forgotten what it's called now, that app. What's the app called? It's gone. Anyway, she talks about this app. What's it called? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Mind blank. Angela talks about the app a lot. Stitch Keeper? Is that what it's called? I'll have to put the word in here. She talks about it a lot, and it's great because you put your pattern in as a PDF, and then you tell it what colour DMC the symbols are. I only stitch in DMC. I don't know if it does other colours, other types of floss, and it converts it all into colours, and then you can tell it I am only stitching the red bit of this chart. I think that's 321, DMC 321, except I used C321, if it is 321, a 12 thread with a sparkle in. Anyhow, I don't know if you can see the sparkle. So anyway, Pattern Keeper, that's what it's called. You put your pattern in and tell it what threads you're using, what colour, so it knows what colours it is, and then you say, I'm going to stitch all the red, and it just shows you the red stitches that you need, those stitches for that colour. And then you say, okay, I've done, and it counts down, and then you say, okay, I've done those, now I'm going to do the yellow ones, and it just shows you where those are. Revolutionise my stitching. I am now like I'm a speed demon now. It's fantastic. So I'm going to put my PDF copy of Spangled in and see if that works as well. It's wonderful. So thank you so much, Angela, the Stitching Brit. You should check her out on Flosstube. That's really helpful and has made me such a happy stitcher. So yes, so that's why this has turned out so quick, which is great because my daughter's birthday is in a couple of weeks, and that will definitely be finished in time because of it. I don't have any other starts to show you, which is good, because if I start too many things, none of them are going to get finished, are they? So this is on my plan for an imminent finish, as is the train, and I would like to get Loom and Grow update, because let's be honest, I'm slacking on that one. And Spangled is for me, so that will just come as and when. Do you ever find that when you're stitching, you just stitch for other people more than you do yourself, or are you a self-stitcher? I find when I'm stitching for myself, I tend to put it aside for other things, and even non-stitchy things can distract me from stitching if I'm stitching for myself. However, if I'm stitching for someone else, it's like, oh, must do this, must do this. But it is nice to have more than one thing on the go now I've finished the big watercolour alphabet that I showed you in episode 3, I think, my third Flosstube video. So, on the cards for new starts, I've got this book. Bought this book, sorry about the glare. Oh dear, there we go. The window's just in front of me. Bought this book years and years and years ago, and it's been at my mum's house for years and years and years in a sort of storage. I say storage, it just means in my old bedroom. All my stitchy books are at mum's, and at some point I'll bring them over here. Socks for Mum on Instagram is stitching this, and she suggested a stitch along, so I went for it. It's this pattern, not the whole book, although maybe in time. So I have bought some blue Zweigart, I don't know where it is, Ada, and the threads for this. Let's see if I can put them up, make them look pretty. There's a lot of that colour. I'm not even sure is that the colour? Now there might be an extra blue in here that we don't need. I think that's the blue we don't need, because I couldn't find one of the colours when I went to buy threads, so I bought a close second. So there's just one of each now. I'm doing it, the pattern is actually charted in Anchor, but there's a DMC conversion, so I went for the DMC conversion because that's what I always stitch in, if I can. If it's a kit with Anchor or something else, then I'll use something else, but as a preference I like DMC. It's nice and simple, and I've never had a problem with them, so well, if it works, don't break it. So yes, that's going to be The Strawberry Thief by William Morris. Beautiful, beautiful, and so iconic. I'm going to have to go soon. I'm near my younger daughter, scrabbling around in the kitchen for food. In fact, I might come back and do this. No, I'll carry on. So that's that. And then my next start, which I'll start soon once I've got this Handmaid's Tale one out of the way, or finished, not out of the way, I'm enjoying it, is this Cotton and Twine kit. Now my sister bought me this, and she bought one for herself and her daughter to share, and one for my mum, and we're three of us going to stitch, 4 of us are going to stitch a bit, pass it on, stitch a bit, pass it on, so that we've all stitched on each other's. Or maybe we could just stitch these hearts and leave, like I do one, my sister does one, my niece does one, and my mum does one, so we've all done one each. We'll have to think about it. It was my mum's birthday during the week last week, so that was my sister's birthday gift to my mum, was a stitch along for all of us, which was really kind of her, and I'm so grateful. It's come in this lovely box from Cotton and Twine, this huge box, and that's the pattern, and it comes with a little make your own chicken stitchy kit, tea bag, always grateful for tea bags, box of sweeties, don't tell the dog. In this bag is the sorted threads and the Ada. It also comes with a frame. How awesome is that kit? So I can see that going just here. I can't get the angle right. There we go. So I'll have to get that done and have it on my wall. That'll be the first piece of cross stitch on that wall then. Exciting. And as regards to haul, I think that's about it. I feel like I've spent a lot more than I've shown you though. it'll come to me. This month's cross stitch arrived yesterday. I haven't had a good look, but I saw on the front, as part of their stitch challenge, their challenge is where they set 3 people, or have 3 people get shown, a challenge where they give them how much aid you're allowed to use, how much floss you're allowed to use, and they come up with various ideas, and it's a Biscornu, Biscornu. It's got hedgehogs on this one. It's designed by Doreen Jones. It's called Little Hedgehogs. Now, my grandmother-in-law loves hedgehogs, and we're always struggling what to buy for Christmas. That's what she's getting. I'll probably do it twice, or think of something else for, instead of backing it with fabric, do another cross-stitch design. Maybe the oak leaves. Is it oak leaves? Maybe these leaves, which is another one by Emma Congdon. She's Stitch Rovia, isn't she? And then so put that on the bottom of that one. That's going to be my plan, I think. So that's a Christmas present. The train is a Christmas present. This is another Christmas present. It's exciting. I like Christmas. So, ladies and gentlemen, 11th of August, 9:53 here in the UK. It's hot, it's sticky. I have a hungry daughter. I don't think I've given her breakfast yet, so that's probably why. Sorry, running and stitching took precedent this morning. She is 12, nearly 13. She's capable of feeding herself if I forget, so she's quite lucky. Oh, last Flosstube I did a little book section because I've been inspired to read a book as recommended by Gulf Coast Stitcher Julie and her daughter Sarah. They have done another video. That's exciting. I was so pleased to see them back on Flosstube. I wondered whether something horrible had happened, but they were both there, both happy, both healthy. And I told you I was reading this by Kazuro Ishiguro. It's actually a man writing it, not a woman. I thought it was a woman, but it's a man, and it's I'm getting there with it. I've read that much now, and I'm slowly getting into it. It's quite a slow burn of a book. I also listened to A Handmaid's Tale. This wasn't recommended by Julie, Gulf Coast Stitcher. They recommended the Poisonwood Bible, which I read and finished and was very good. Very happy with that. This is like a dystopian thing that my genre that my daughter recommended I read. Handmaid's Tale, also another dystopian book. I'm sure many of you have read it or heard of it and watched it on TV. I listened to it while I was stitching this lovely piece, and I finished listening to it. I was gardening at my mum's on Saturday as another bit of her birthday present, and it finished, and I rang my daughter. It was about 10:30 in the morning. Now, given that she's nearly 17, she was asleep. And I was like, how can it, this is the first thing I said when she picked up the phone, how can it finish like that? How can it finish like that? I need to know what happens next. We didn't have much of a conversation about it because she wanted to sleep. But I'm sure next time she's here we will debate and discuss and digest and pull it apart maybe. And I'll look forward to that. And see what she's got next on my reading list, because I think I'll probably finish this by then. Because if it's too hot I can't even stitch, because I can't. It just gets sweaty, doesn't it? Your needle gets sweaty and leather. Anyhow, I'm off to make some pancakes. What are you going to have for lunch today? Let me know in the comments below. I will see you all soon, in another couple of weeks probably, unless something really exciting happens in my life, which I doubt. Stay safe, stay well, and drink water, lots of it, to keep hydrated. Happy stitching, everybody.